Hey, everybody. Good evening. It's Ellen Lewis from Crazy for You. I'm just sitting here swatching. Yes, I swatch. I swatch everything. It's what I spend most of my time doing. Anyway, so I thought it would be fun tonight to just we haven't had a casual chat in a really long time. And I just thought it would be fun to do that. One of the things that I get asked all the time is, how many sweaters do you knit? Or how long does it take you to knit a sweater? And, the answer is, of course, it depends on whatever else I'm doing and how many things I have on my needles. So I thought, all right, let's just pull out everything that I've knit so far. So we're in the middle of October. So everything that I've finished this year and just share that with you. So how's that sound? Does that sound good? Hey, Carolyn, how are you doing? Hey, Susan, nice to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. So, I have no business swatching for another project, given that I have many multiple projects yet undone on my needles, but here I am. So, I'll share this with you later on. But anyway, so let's get started. How many things do you have on needles in your life? I mean, on average, say, are you one project at a time? Do you knit, just one thing at a time from beginning to end? Or do you have maybe a car project or, a car project that you can knit on, only when you're traveling? Or how does that work for you? And does it stress you to have more than one project on your needle? Tell me in the chat because I would love to know. Hey, Eveline, nice to see you. Okay, so we'll start with most recent, I guess. Well, we'll just start with the way they're stacked up. How about that? Okay, so this is the staple linen top. Many of you knit this with me. This was a fun little project that is designed by Locatelli. It's knit from the top down, and I love this project. This was a quick knit, no sleeves. That's always helpful. At a gauge of, I think it was 5 stitches to the inch, and just really cute. Knitted in the round, top down, like I said. This was fun, and it's knit in Coleman by Queen City, which is a beautiful, oh my goodness, beautiful yarn to work with. It's a blend of, I think, 60% silk, 40% linen. And, for where we live, it's an all-season garment. I will definitely wear this kind of layered with jackets and whatnot. So super fun. I love this one. And I believe I have in the description of this video, have all of the projects linked. So I have the name and I have the Ravelry link to that pattern in the description. So in case you're interested, I also have a link to the yarn so that you can see that. All right, so let's see what everybody has to say. All right, I hope I don't feel guilty about everybody's. Hey, Rita. Okay, so let's see. Kelly says, all right, it's kind of weird here at the shop. All right, Kelly, 2 to 4 projects at a time between crochet and knit. All right, I think that's good. That's fair, right? Nobody's going to feel guilty. Phyllis, 4 right now. I'd like to be 1 at a time. Okay, so you'd like to be 1 at a time, but you're not. Oh, well, it's okay. It's not like knitting is a marriage. You don't have to be monogamous. One of the reasons I like it, maybe. All right, Karen, I hope I don't feel guilty about tonight's subject. There's really no place in knitting for guilt, right? Guilt is such a wasted emotion. Nobody needs that. Okay, let's see what else we got. Hey, Peggy, nice to see you. Hey, Polly. Hey, Jill. Hey, Alicia. All right. Hi, Gwen. Nice to see you guys. All right, let's see. Rita also loves the Hohi top. Yep. My one and only sleeveless top. That is not true, Rita. You have your custom fit sleeveless top, which also looks amazing on you, right? How quickly we forget these things, huh? So you have the Hohi one, and then you have the other. All right. Hey, Ellen, nice to see you. Okay, so the next one that I want to share with you is one that I love because it's so quick to knit. This was so fast. And I got to tell you, I am digging these fast to knit things. It's such a, I don't know, it's such a fabulous little pop to get that project done. You know, you cast on, you knit, it looks great, and it's done. It's so fast. Okay, so this one is the Slouchy Pullover. This is a church mouse design. They have two versions of this. One of them is like this. It's in the brushed fleece, which I absolutely love. And the other one is in 4 strands of Kidsilk Haze carried together, which is a beautiful, beautiful look. But I'm just gaga over this brush fleece. So I wanted to do something in it. I had never knit a sweater in brush fleece. So I wanted to play with it. And I'm really happy with it. You know, it's very, very light. So even though it's a big, big, bulky sweater, it weighs nothing, you know, so it's super light to wear. And I love, you know, I love cream colored things. Winter white is my favorite color. And don't tell me, I know it's not a color. I get that, but I do love it. I mean, it goes with everything, right? So this is a great pattern. It has, so it has this cute little short row addition at the cuff. Can you see that? So the cuff has just this tiny little bit of a curve to it, which brings it down on your hand just a little bit. Not so much that it's in your way, but just enough so that it's like right there. And I think it's beautiful. Very minimally finished. It is worked in pieces and seamed, but there's no, you know, there's no hem, there's no ribbing at the bottom, there's no picking up around the neckline. It's just a super, super clean garment. And I love this. So I think this is beautiful. I think for my size, I think it took like 5 or 6 skeins. And it has a lot of ease. So very pretty garment. I can see myself wearing this a lot as soon as it gets cold enough, right? Okay. What? Oh, I was thinking about this next one that I want to share with you, and I realized that I put the wrong name in the notes. So forgive me on this. This is not the Preston. This is the Morbillo or Morbillo, however you say that. I believe it's Morbillo cardigan. This is a custom fit design. So if you are familiar with Custom Fit by Amy Herzog, you know that Custom Fit is a system that generates patterns based on your measurement and your swatch. So basically, you can knit anything you want in any yarn you want to fit your body perfectly. So I love it. I make a lot of custom fit stuff. This one that I have on is Borask, which is also a custom fit. And I didn't knit it this year, so I'm not going to mention it. But anyway, I have a lot of her things because I really do like to be able to make exactly what I want in whatever yarn I want. I hate to be kind of tied to just one yarn. So if I want to use a particular yarn and the gauge isn't right, it's nice to be able to kind of swap that out. Anyway, this is the Morbillo cardigan. Ellen, I know you made this too. Yep, you made this. Um, this is a lovely long line A-line cardigan. So, and it's worked in reverse stockinette. Can see that the reverse stockinette side is out, the purl side is out. And I love that for yarns like this one that have a lot of texture because, you know, the texture of yarns is more visible on the purl side. So if you have a yarn with a beautiful texture that you really kind of want to play up, something with reverse stockinette or with a nice mix of knit and purl is going to show your texture more. So that's why I like this one for this particular yarn. All of Amy Herzog's custom fit designs that I have done are set in sleeve. She does have an option for a drop shoulder, but I'm a sucker for a set in sleeve. So anyway, this has a pretty twisted rib element on it. And then on the back has that same twisted rib that runs the length of the garment. And then just a real casual rolled edge here. I love this. I can't wait to wear this. I finished this just before it was too warm to wear it. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll go with these pants that I have on. So, you know, I'm all about a hand knit wardrobe. So when I go to knit things, I think more maybe about what I'm going to wear it with, or whether it's going to go with the other knitwear that I have in my wardrobe. So do you do that? Do you tell me in the comments if you think about your projects as wardrobe items, or do you just knit whatever appeals to you in whatever color and then buy something to go with it? I'd love to hear. All right, so Ellen has a question. All right. Okay, is that bulky one too heavy for me? Okay, so this one, this bulky one, Ellen is asking if this is too heavy for her because she lives in New Orleans. And so I don't think this would be too warm, but if you were concerned about it, Ellen, you could do the one with the 4 strands of Kidsilk Haze. I'll tell you what, when you're here in February, you can try this on and see what you think. But no, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be too heavy for you. You probably aren't going to wear it under a coat. You know, it would be one of those things that you could wear in transitional seasons, especially if you did it in a color that you could wear in the fall or the spring, you know, or the winter. So like white or pink. Anyway, and another question she had, what yarn did I use for the Morbillo? So this is a yarn, it's been discontinued now, but this is a beautiful yarn by Noro called Tennen. And Tennen is a lot like Silk Garden, except instead of mohair. So Silk Garden is a blend of silk, mohair, and wool, kind of 30, 30, 30, 30 sort of thing. And what they did with Tennen, it's the same fiber composition, except instead of mohair, they used alpaca. So it's a really pretty, very, very soft yarn with a lot of texture. It was all sort of tonal. All of the Tennen shades were tonal. I love this. And I had a few skeins left, and you'll have to ask Rita what happened to those yarns. All right, Terry. I'm starting to think more intentionally about my wardrobe pieces. Definitely tired of fast fashion, although I do enjoy those accessory knits to try doing fun colors and techniques. Yeah, absolutely, Terry. I think knitting is kind of the ultimate antidote to fast fashion. I am not about fast fashion. I mean, for Pete's sake, none of us are. We're knitters, you know. We create our own fabric before we create our own garment, right? So clearly we're not knitting things real quick and wearing them for half a season and then dumping them. I mean, I think all of us put a lot of time and care into the choices that we make, you know. And I think it's such an important part of the knitting process. You know, if you're making garments, you know, is this a style that that really suits you? Does this fit in like with your personal style? I talk about that a lot on various platforms, you know, in the newsletter, in the blog, and here. The idea that, you know, we knit things because they're things that we want to wear and that we know that they're going to look good on us, because they're things that are similar to or share characteristics with garments that we already have in our wardrobe that we love. So, I mean, if I looked at my sweaters today, and I have a huge number of V-neck sweaters. You know, when I do the Cocoa Knits class, I always tend to make a V-neck sweater. For me, I like a lot of space in here. I like a scoop neck, I like a V-neck, and or a turtleneck. I don't like very many crew necks. And I can't tell you, before I figured this whole thing out, how many crew neck sweaters I knit that I just didn't love, I didn't wear. I wasn't thinking about the sweaters that I knit in terms of Do they go with my personal style? I'm not sure I even thought about my personal style, until whatever. But you know what I'm saying? So it is important to sort of curate your knitting if you're making garments before you cast on, figuring out, yes, I love this because I think it will look great on me, and not because, oh, everybody's knitting this, or it looks so cute on the mannequin, or my BFF made this and it looks so great on her. So those are all the reasons not to knit something. But, anyway, you know what I'm saying. All right, let's see. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I'm glad you like that. It is a really great yarn. I don't know why they discontinued it because I loved it. I loved it. It came in big 100-gram hanks. So maybe they'll bring something like it back. So yes, great idea to play with colors and yarns and accessories and then make garments with the ones that work best. Yeah, so the colors, I mean, I think we all kind of know what colors look good on us, but in terms of like what length looks good on you, what sleeve length do you prefer, what kinds of necklines? So I have a lot of the same kinds of things. All right, let's see what else. Okay, so this one, this is very pretty, and this is a little bit outside my box. I don't tend to be a raglan girl, and this neckline, I was just saying, isn't necessarily one that I gravitate to, but we actually had this garment in the shop for a trunk show, and I put it on, and I loved it. In fact, we had it here during one of the retreats, and everyone who put it on loved it, so we did a knit along. This one is Contentment by Kim Hargreaves. It's a lovely, very oversized, lots of ease, 10 inches of ease recommended in this garment. It's just plain, 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 which I love plain things. I like boring knitting and plain clothes. It's just stockinette. And like I said, it's raglan, but it's a pieced raglan. It's not knit from the top down. It's knit in 4 different pieces and seamed. And I want to show you something that she did on this, which I absolutely love. So, you can do your raglan line shaping decreases or increases any way you want. You can make that shaping so that it's less visible. But in this instance, what she did is she designed it in what's called a full fashioned way so that the decreases run in the opposite direction of the shaping so that they're very visible. And they're a couple stitches away from the edge. So look here how that shaping becomes a design element. And it keeps an otherwise fairly basic, straight stockinette sweater. It gives it a little something, I think it's beautiful. And, very, very minimal finishing. There's nothing at the cuff or at the hem. It just kind of rolls up a little bit, maybe half an inch. But it's, oh my goodness, so cozy, so soft. The yarn is Rowan cotton wool, which is a 50-50 blend of, you guessed it, cotton and wool. And it's a chainette construction. I know a lot of people are sort of hesitant to use chainette yarns because you're not sure what it's going to look like in the knitted fabric. But let me just show you. It just looks like yarn. So anyway, I think it's really pretty. Terry. All right. I'm glad you like. This is a very you garment, Terry. This would look really cute on you, I think. And we have a lot of great colors. There's a beautiful blue that would be perfect for you, Terry. Anyway, this one seemed to take me a long time, and I don't know if it was the time of year, everything else that I had going on, or what. But like I said, we had a knit along for it, and it seemed like everybody finished before I did. Okay, so this is another one that I thought was super fun. This is called Magnolia Bloom. This is also one that we did as a knit along. This is by Camilla Vad, and she is, gosh, I want to say she's Danish or Swedish or Scandinavian somehow. Anyway, really pretty garment. It's knit top down. It's a yoke construction, which means it's worked top down, and all of this upper sleeve and body and shoulder are all worked together, and it has this gorgeous these gorgeous nups, this really pretty little lace pattern. This was very fun to knit. I was surprised how much I enjoyed doing this. This lace pattern is a 48 row repeat, and you just go through it once. And I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot with these nups, and I can't wait to wear this. I think I finished this in maybe April. So I haven't worn it, but I'm really looking forward to wearing it this season. And it has this pretty turned collar. I love a turtleneck myself, and I love how that turned collar, it's a really clean look, and it also is nice and stretchy, so you don't get that issue of something bound off at the top of your neckline that's going to be too tight to go over your head. And I've had that happen. Even though I have a tiny little pea head, I have done that when I was first knitting. It bound off at the neckline, and it was so tight I couldn't get my head under it, get my head through it, and I had to pull out the bind off and take out a row and bind off much more loosely. Actually, I had to do that twice on the same sweater because I kept thinking I was binding off loosely, but actually it wasn't. It needs to be much more loose than you think. So this was knit with a strand of Juniper Moon Santa Cruz held with a strand of Kidsilk Haze. And this is kind of interesting fabric because Santa Cruz is a worsted weight yarn, but this garment is knit at a bulky gauge, 3 to the inch. But when you put that Kidsilk Haze with it, you can really push the gauge of that Santa Cruz. It doesn't look floppy or anything, I think, at this gauge, despite the fact that it's a heavy worsted yarn knit at a bulky gauge. It just makes a really lovely wearable fabric. So this is a pretty one, I think. We have a bunch of kits on that. So that one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Hi, Arlene. Nice to see you. Okay, so this one is the one I finished most recently, isn't it? Yes. This is Elan by Shellie Anderson. And many of you know Shellie Anderson as the designer for Shibui, who kind of did, I think, some of Shibui's most beautiful work. But this is a lovely, loose, very drapey garment. You can see it has what's called a dolman sort of sleeve. So there's no bind off for the armhole. It's just straight. And you see how the body angles out from the hem. So you're increasing as you go and up to the armhole. And this was designed to be knit in the round, but I had a little bit of a crisis with this because I cast on and I joined it in the round and I started knitting, and I had about, I don't know, however many inches. And I realized I had twisted it. So I was so frustrated. I had to take the whole thing out. And after that, I was a little gun shy. So I didn't join it in the round. I knit it all in one piece, but I knit it flat and I seamed the one side. And that was kind of interesting. I like seaming, and I like the way seams give structure to garments and cause it to kind of turn and fold where it should. So what I did on the other side, in order to mirror that, was I did a slip stitch. And you see that single slipped stitch up this center? So that slipped stitch causes the fabric to fold on the other side the way it does on the side that's seamed. So that was interesting and kind of a fun exercise in faux seams. So that's something that you can do if you are knitting something in the round, like if you like the look of a seamed sweater, or you really want to have some more defined sides, you can slip that center stitch. And you do need to have a center stitch. So you have to have the same number of stitches on the front and the back. And then the stitch that's in between, you're going to slip that purlwise every other row. And that will give you that slipped stitch fold line. It's almost a miracle. It really is very, very cool the way it works. Let's see. I made the Magnolia Chunky this summer in a similar blue. Yes, I remember. Okay. Like both the knitting and the fit. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful, Emmy's talking about this one. There's also a version of it that's a slightly lighter gauge and short sleeves for summer. It is a lighter gauge, right, Emmy? I thought it was something like 4 to the inch. Anyway, super cute. I would make this again for summer. I think that would be really pretty. And correct me if I'm wrong, Emmy, but I think that the Magnolia Chunky has the motif at the bottom. I can't remember. There were so many versions of it, and it's so cute, right? All right. Thank you, Ellen. I love this. So this garment was knit in Noro Asaginu, which is a really interesting blend of linen, 69% linen and 30% art paper. So I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, your garment is made of paper. Isn't it going to fall apart when you wash it? Well, no, actually, when you think about paper, our money is made of paper. Um, and it doesn't fall apart. How many of us have put our, money through the washer? It just gets softer, and it's only 30%. So don't quote me on this, but the ball band on Asaginu tells you to dry clean only. I steam blocked this and I washed it, and it's really soft. It wasn't soft when I was knitting with it, and I'll tell you, it wasn't that much of a treat to knit, but I would use it again because I love the fabric so, so much. I think this would be beautiful in my other favorite Shellie Anderson sweater, Twig. Ellen, I know you like that sweater a lot, and I'll tell you, this Asaginu would be gorgeous in it. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to do that this coming summer. Get me another Twig because I reach for that sweater all the time. Okay, so those are 6 sweaters that I knit. I started and finished in 2020. There are a couple other things I want to share with you if I have time. Not quite out of time. Okay, so this one is the Cowl cardigan by Lisa Richardson. It is beautiful, and it has been languishing on my needles. Oh my gosh, 2018. I'm embarrassed to tell you how long it's been. And I knit the back and I knit the fronts and I knit one sleeve, and then I was knitting the other sleeve and I realized, oh my gosh, because I had waited. I did the back and then the fronts and the sleeve, and I put it away for whatever reason. Maybe 2020 happened. I don't know. And I was doing the second sleeve with the wrong needle. So I was saying, okay, how long did I make the other sleeve? I better measure it. I took it in there and I measured it against the other sleeve. It was too big. I had to rip the whole thing out. So that's sort of demoralizing, but I've been slowly chipping away at this one. It's a lot of knitting, but it is gorgeous. You can see it in the back. Maybe many of you have been in the shop. Anyway, it's a beautiful cardigan. It's worked in this double moss stitch, which I think is stunning, in Kid Classic, Rowan Kid Classic. So it's really, really pretty. It's got a wide front. So the fronts are more than half as wide as the back. So lots of overlap in the front, really pretty. And the sleeves are worked in garter stitch. So you have kind of an interesting textural play. I love this. And I have worked all the pieces and I have assembled the body. So this again is a seamed raglan. And I have sewn the sleeves to the back and the front. And what I have to do now is finish seaming the sides. I've seamed this sleeve. So I have to seam this side and this side and this sleeve. So still quite a bit of seaming, but even after you pick up for this cowl that's attached to the garment, and I got to say it's like 300 and some stitches. Karen Denahan, if you're still on, tell me in the chat if you remember how many stitches were on for this cowl, because I know Karen made it. Oh my gosh, it's so it's so many, and it's worked in the round in garter stitch. So all the fun, right? All the fun things. Anyway, I can't wait to finish it because it's one of those things I can't wait to wear it. You know, it goes with everything in my wardrobe. It's just this perfect neutral, and I am going to finish it for this season. So, you know, we had a family friend. She was Irish. I talk about her all the time. Stella Burke, absolutely lovely lady. And she tried to teach me to knit when I was little, but I wasn't interested. But anyway, she used to say she was a one at a time knitter. I mean, nothing. And she said, if you work on more things than one at a time, you never get anything done, which is probably true. It takes me a while to get things done because I think I have knitting ADD in addition to like general ADD. So that one is going to be finished soon, but I already have this one too. Let me share this with you. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. All right. Okay. Karen says yes. 300 plus a million. Yes, it's a lot of stitches. Yeah, it feels like a ton of stitches for that cowl. But it's one of those things that once it's picked up, I'm going to have it in the sunroom with me. And that's what I'm going to work on in the mornings because that's my meditative sort of time. I like to have my coffee. It's morning. It's quiet. I just sit there and I just knit mindless things in a mindful way. Do you know what I mean? So things that I don't have to focus on and I can just sort of my mantra of knit, knit, knit. Anyway, that's very calming for me. What else is on my needles? Okay, this. I love this. I started this and I'm almost done. It's so fast. So fast. Part of the reason this has taken me a long time is because I've been trying to videotape all of the sections to put together a little class on that. Oh, Ellen, I did do the staple linen top. That was the first one I showed, I think. Okay, so this one is called Agyness. And this is designed by Martin Storey. This is new in the Mode Collection 7 for this season. And this is worked in big wool at on US 15s. And I think the gauge is like 9 stitches over 4 inches. So it's beautiful. And it's all done. And I'm just starting the cable for the front. So I know that will go fast because it's so fun and interesting. And then I'll just have to seam that up. It won't take any time at all. But I love this one very, very much. And I would knit this again. You know, I would knit this. I would knit another one in another color. Maybe pink, who knows, right? So here is my front and the cable, that center cable I want to share with you. See how that's coming along? So the center cable here has that, that double moss stitch in the middle. You can see it in the picture. And then so it's a 4-stitch cable on either side that forms those diamonds. So really pretty. And I love this color. This is called Cactus. It's a real kind of gray green. And I know you don't think this is in my palette, but it absolutely is. And I love this. And it goes really nicely with everything I wear, especially pink, you know. And it goes with these like these camel colored pants. So I'm excited about that. And okay, we're also starting a knit along soon for this one. Oh, I don't have my picture for this one. This is Western Rose, and this is a design. It's an in the round mosaic sweater by Baby Cocktails, Thea Coleman. So she's a super talented designer, and I'm looking forward to doing this. It's got an interesting construction. So you start with a sleeve, and you work both sleeves up, and then you work the body, and then you come and you join them all at once. So I think that's going to be very fun and interesting. And what you do with this is you have a main color, and then you have a contrasting color of this beautiful feeder Brook. So this is the feeder Brook Entropy that I'm using, and I'm super excited about it because it has this beautiful little mosaic design. It almost looks like little roses or little cacti, some kind of little succulent. But anyway, super fun. And this is Scout, which is the same gauge as Entropy, and it is also a 2-ply yarn. So you can see it has a very similar look to the Entropy, right? With that 2-ply. The 2-ply nature of this yarn is so much more visible because it's marled. You see the two colors together? Really pretty. I think this is going to be great. A lot of people have bought yarn for this, and we will be starting this knit along very soon. Let me know if you're interested in doing that with us. So that won't fit in this little bag for much longer, will it? Okay, so like I said, oh, this other thing I want to share with you. So this has been like forever. Okay, let's see. Denise, I was showing my most unfinished were ones where I taught a class in. Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that funny? You know, because when I teach a class, I will do something a lot of times. I will knit the same garment, you know, the same portions. Oh my gosh. And then it doesn't ever get completely finished. I know exactly what you mean, Denise. Yes, absolutely. Can Entropy be used as a substitute for the Tennen? Okay, so Tennen is a heavy worsted Aran weight yarn. So it probably isn't going to work in the same pattern at the same gauge. But again, if you swatch the Entropy and you like the gauge of it at a very loose gauge, you could do that. I would caution you, though, that the Entropy, because it is both marled and self-striping, it's got a lot going on. So it's a little bit of a busy yarn. So you want to keep that in something that's very simple, right? When I was in Oregon at Sarah Keller's shop, Not Another Hat, in Hood River, Oregon, fabulous shop, by the way, and she's just adorable. That's where I found the yarn, and I fell in love with it, and I bought a sweater quantity of it for her. Come to find out, it's made right here in Maryland. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Anyway, so I love it, and I bought a sweater quantity of it, as I said, and I'm trying to sort of figure out what I want to do with that sweater quantity so that it doesn't look too busy. So anyway, as an aside. All right, let's see what else we got. Picture. Yeah, let me see if I can find that Western Rose for you. It is really, really pretty. Yeah, here we go. I apologize for not having having my computer set up, but there's the Western Rose. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so that's what you mean, right, Denise? All right. So the Tennen does have a lot of, it is really pretty. Yeah, it's really pretty. But there are other, like Silk Garden Solo is a lot like Tennen in terms of the colors. So let me show you what that looks like, because this is a project that I've been working on for, I'm embarrassed to tell you, longer than the Cowl cardigan. It's one of those things that because it's sort of modular, you can do it a little bit at a time and then you can not do it and whatever. But this is a mitered squares blanket worked in Silk Garden and Silk Garden Solo. Can I tell you how much I love this? I love this so, so much. This is designed by Gardiner of MDK, Modern Daily Knitting. And she designed it. It's called the Mitered Crosses. And the way she did it, this portion of each square, see, these are miters. You work one and then you pick up. But what she did is she worked this tip of each of the squares in the background color. So it gives the effect of the center panels being crosses. And it's very pretty. But I didn't want that. I just wanted the full squares of the Silk Garden. And so I'm working on this, and I have see, it's missing one square right there. Hello. And I have that on my needles that I've been working on. I am a little bit behind because my dog Charlie got a hold of it, and she took this square sort of apart. So that's other than good. But anyway, this is a really fun one. But I want to point out to you, Ellen, especially that this Silk Garden Solo, especially in this white color, does that same kind of gradient thing. It's got lots of different colors. Even though this is considered a solo and white, do you see all the different colors in there? Very subtle color shift. So very, very pretty. This is a great project. And as soon as I finish it, I will be kitting the rest of this yarn up as a kit. This center color has been discontinued, but I have a lot of it left. I've been hoarding it. But when I'm finished, like I said, I will put it together as a kit. And there are also some really pretty other colors of Silk Garden that would be lovely in this. I do think that the white background or the white border colors does set it off really nicely, but you could use any color of Silk Garden Solo and get a very pretty effect. It doesn't have to be white. That just happens to be what I like. And yes, you could absolutely make a Morbillo cardigan in that Silk Garden Solo color one. Absolutely. Just beautiful. And like I said, I've been working on this a long time. Each square is worked separately. Don't know if I have my project kit. Oh, yeah, I do. Here it is. Okay, so each square is worked separately. And I like that because this tends to be my travel project. If I'm going to be flying, I know that I can pretty much finish one of these insets in a coast-to-coast trip. And it's just nice because it all fits in this one little bag. I can put, quite a bit of yarn in my little Delicue zippy bag here. And here's my pattern. And I can work on it, and you don't have to, you don't really have to remember anything. It's all right there. So you make these little squares and then you pick up and you make make the little squares and then you pick up and you make a border. And then you pick up along the border and this square and you make that. And then you pick up along this border and that. And then you sew them together. So anyway, it's taken me a bit, but I'm not in a rush because it's one of those things that I kind of enjoy doing. Does that appeal to anybody? Anybody love that? I think that's really fun. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to show you, I know I've probably gone over on time, but I fell in love with this pattern. This is by Julie Hoover, who is one of my favorite designers. She has designed quite a number of things for Shibui, but look at this. This is called the Riverbend Cardigan. I'm pretty sure I shared this cardigan when I was talking about styling your hand knits and how cute it looks. See how cute it looks with a white blouse? I think most hand knit garments look really crisp with a white blouse. And I just fell in love with this. It's knit in a bulky yarn. She has used Quarry, which is a yarn by Brooklyn Tweed, woolen spun. But I'm going to use, I think, and that's why I'm swatching this, I think I'm going to use La Pampa, which is a worsted spun yarn and bulky. And the gauge on this one is 10 stitches to 4 inches. Yeah, 10, I'm pretty sure that's it. 10 stitches to 4 inches. Yes, 10 stitches to 4 inches. And this is 11 stitches to 4 inches on an 11. And I like this fabric a lot. I am swatching it on, I did these on 11s. I'm swatching it on 13s. And I'm really not thinking that I like the fabric so much. I can already tell that it feels a little floppy for me. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do about this, whether I'm going to use this yarn and just go with it and maybe block it out a little bit or have it come out a little smaller. I don't know. Stay tuned. Anyway, I think that's really pretty. I love the way, you can't see it from this picture, but it has in the back, it has a short row hem. So the back hem curves down. And if you are not a team seamed girl, it is worked all in one piece, but the sleeves are set in. So it's kind of a compromise. But anyway, I think this is beautiful and I can't wait to make it. But I am going to finish this and this, the Agyness. So I'm going to finish the Cowl cardigan, Agyness, and the Western Rose before I start the Riverbend, I think. Maybe if I, see, this is what we do. We negotiate with ourselves, don't we? If I finish this, then I can do that. Okay, okay, we have lots of questions here. All right, how do you sew the blanket stitches together? Okay, they're just sewn together with a mattress stitch. And it's super easy to do because with those squares, you're slipping the first stitch. So you get a nice selvage. And it's very easy to sew them together. It really is no sweat at all. And the back looks nice and clean. So where I've seen them. All right. Okay, I have a quilt. Oh, Kelly, let's see. I have a quilt that I started 16 years ago that I only work on occasionally. Yes. What is it about those ones? You know, you just kind of work on it. And what is it? I mean, does like the mood hit and you just think, okay, I guess I'll work on that today? Or do you have to really spin yourself up and, you know, motivate yourself and promise yourself ice cream and treats when you work on it? Tell me in the chat. Is that you, or how does that work? Okay. Yes, goals. Me too. All right. Hey, Valerie, you're never too late. It's nice to see you, and I'm glad you can be here tonight. Oh my gosh, you guys. I need to show this to you. I'm so excited about this. If you follow me on Instagram, then you saw this, but I'm just going to show you again. I'm going to do another reel, and I'm going to do it with one of those sounds. It's like, well, look at this then. Is this the most beautiful thing? Look at these shoes. Okay, these are a birthday present from my daughter, and her best friend hand painted these. I know, right? These are Air Force One Nikes, and just look at this. I mean, it's got like knitted fabric on there, right? And it's pink. And look at, there's my logo. Is that amazing? Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I'm so excited. And everybody keeps asking me, are you going to wear them? Are you going to put them in a case in the shop? I haven't decided. Somehow I can't imagine me. Look how clean they are on the bottom, right? They won't be that clean and beautiful if I wear them, but then I won't enjoy them if I don't wear them. So what should I do? Should I wear them and enjoy them and think that they might get dirty? Or should I put them in a glass case and just look at them and say, oh, aren't they pretty? Tell me what. Isn't that fun? So she has a business. I think it's, I'm not sure if it's a business. It might be. She has her own Instagram page, and it's X by Randy. Anyway, if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see that my daughter tagged her friend Randy in there. So Randy is a very cool person. She was on that kind of like Shark Tank for MTV. She was on that, and she designed a pair of boots, and she won the whole thing. So I thought that was very, very cool. So anyway, I'm excited about them. Oh, you think I should wear them? Yay! Yay! Wear them. Aw. Okay. Wear them. Wear them and enjoy them, right? Magic eraser. Oh, I love you guys. Okay, so I think I'm going to wear them. And if anybody has any really great ideas about the best way to style, white Air Nike Air shoes, I would love to see it. If you have a Pinterest board you want to send me, or thoughts. Do I wear them with jeans? Do I wear them with sundress? I've never had Air Jordans before. I've never had like sneakers like that. So I'm super excited. Isn't that silly? I feel like a kid, but yeah, I'm very happy. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you so much for being here tonight. I've had fun sharing this with you, letting you in on the the behind the scenes of what I knit and how long it takes me to knit stuff. So it's not like I'm a wizard. I mean, there are people in the shop, Rita and Evelyn for one, that knit much more stuff every year than I do. But so regardless of how much you knit or how many things you knit or whatever, as long as you're enjoying it and the things that you knit really bring you pleasure and you wear them, I think that's all that matters. So anyway, till next time, let me check real quick. Yes to both jeans and live dangerously. Okay. All right. So until next time, keep knitting and create something beautiful. I'll see you next week.